going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. You're a returning subscriber. As always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate support. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm one of them people that believe in second chances. Depending on the severity of an infraction and the reasoning behind said infraction. Today, I want to talk about a story I seen last night that just knocked my socks off. And it's about this man right here. This guy right here is a demon. 69-year-old Eddie Lee Thomas of Florida, somewhere in Florida, right? Ladies and gentlemen, this guy has a violent criminal past. He's an offender, if you know what I'm talking about. This guy was in a group home in which he set it on fire, and his reasoning for that is beyond belief. When I was in prison, I seen a lot of people that oozed dark energy. And when I say dark energy, like you feel a certain way around them and you see that this person is not a good person. You can see it in their eyes, their mannerisms, how they relate to others, the way they speak. You know what I'm saying? Their movements on the prison yard or compound. This guy right here exudes that type of energy. Now, if you look at this guy's face, yeah, he's 69 years old, but this guy has been in a fire before, right? And you'll hear about that as well. But this guy set fire to a house because somebody wouldn't give him a ride at 3:15 in the morning. And the kicker of it is he had a car. 5 other roommates in the house. He was in a group home that he set it on fire. And the way he did it was very malicious and demonic. People like this should not be out walking amongst the public. The way I see it, certain crimes should be subject to the ultimate penalty, your life. And when you listen to what I'm about to show you, his extensive rap sheet. And ladies and gentlemen, please listen to his rap sheet. The offenses he had, it's no way he was even breathing, let alone released back in the public to be around regular folk just trying to make it in life. Take a look at the original story and I'll come back with commentary, and then we'll go into his violent criminal past.
Where a convicted felon has been arrested again, accused of destroying the home where he lived, setting it on fire with his 5 roommates still inside. It happened in the early morning hours last week at a home on Dawn Heights Drive. Fox 13's Carla Byron is at the Polk County Sheriff's Office with the chilling details. 6 people, including 69-year-old Eddie Thomas, were living in the group home for registered sex offenders. Polk County Fire Rescue responded to the fire shortly before 4 a.m. Thursday, May 15th. Leading up to it, investigators say Thomas had asked a roommate for a ride into town, but the roommate wanted to go to bed instead. Upset by that, Thomas splashed Accelerate in front of every bedroom, so his 5 roommates couldn't get out. Investigators say he lit the place on fire, and his roommates had to run through flames or crawl out of a window to get out. One roommate was taken to the hospital with serious injuries, though he is expected to be okay.
Here's a poster child for someone who doesn't deserve the air they breathe. He's murdered. He sexually battered children between 12 and 16. He tried to murder 5 people on this particular night. It's like, how many clues do we need?
Sheriff Judd adds Thomas has an extensive criminal history, including a murder he committed back in 1986, where he shot and killed his estranged wife, of which he served 17 years in prison, as well as a sexual battery, where he ended up serving 15 years and registering as a sex offender. Thomas is charged with 5 counts of attempted first-degree murder and arson. In Polk County, Carla Byron, Fox 13.
All right, guys, you've seen it. Destructive nature in this individual has come to a fruition yet again. Now, this guy tried to kill 5 people, 4 of which had nothing to do with his gripe with the one roommate that wouldn't give him a ride in the town at 3:15 a.m. where he went and woke the man up. And the kick is he had his own car. And then if that's not enough, I'm about to show you this press conference And pay attention. Don't turn away. Pay attention to what you hear of how this buildup of different crimes. This guy should have been eviscerated a long time ago, and he damn sure shouldn't have been out in society. This is an evil human being. And there are a lot of them out there like him getting second chances with the prison system or the justice system to come back out with just a slap on the ass or a wrist. We told you, you got justice, so he'll do better. In society, and it never works. The problem is not the criminal. Nowadays, it's the system that's in charge of doing something about the crimes that the criminal does. That's my gripe. That's what I speak out about. That's what I don't like. If somebody loses their life in a horrific way because of a conscious decision of an evil person, and they're let back out into freedom without paying the ultimate price, where this person who was enjoying life just like them is not here no more, something's wrong with that. Ladies and gentlemen, take a look at this press conference where it shows a timeline of events leading up to him burning this house down and trying to burn down 5 people. And it's going to blow your mind. Take a look.
When you look at this guy, if you want to see pure evil in the flesh, it's this man. So let's go back to October 28th, 1975. October 28th, 1975, he was arrested by the sheriff's office for burglary and grand theft, and he spent 14 days in jail, and they gave him 5 years of probation. Then in November 1975, keep in mind, he's on probation, he's supposed to behave. He was arrested by the Winter Haven Police Department for false report of a crime, and he spent 25 days in jail. Did they violate his probation? No. May 22nd, 1986, he was arrested by the Bartow Police Department for burglary and second-degree murder. And here's what happened. He's a cocaine addict. You know, those people want to tell you it's a low-level, non-violent drug, okay? It's anything but that. But he was a cocaine addict, so his wife and 4 children, 2 of which were his, moved out and moved home with their mother. And on this particular day, he went to the house, found out that his estranged wife was there, went to the trunk, got a .410 gauge shotgun, went inside and shot and murdered her twice with 2 shots directly in front of the children. Did you hear what I said? He went into the house after getting a .410 shotgun out, shot his wife twice, killing her in front of the children. And then he told the police, well, after he was arrested, I told her I was going to kill her. Now think about this for a second. The horribleness of this premeditated murder. So, but let's go to the arrest. All right, so he shoots and kills his wife. There's a broadcast put out. One of our sergeants notices the vehicle in Winter Haven. He gets the tag number. The tag number checks out. He spins the car around in order to go stop the guy, and he looks, and the car is in flames. And Eddie is coming out of the car fully engulfed in fire. He's burned over 60% of his body. So I suspect at that moment in time that he was going to commit suicide by setting himself on fire because he put accelerant inside the vehicle. But as he got hotter and hotter and started to burn, I guess he changed his mind. So he was taken to Shands and given the very best treatment, and he survived. He was convicted of second-degree murder. Did you hear what I said? Not first-degree murder, second-degree murder, because the felons owned Florida. It was a very forgiving, liberal system to the very worst offenders. So he now is convicted of second-degree murder, burglary, grand theft of a motor vehicle, grand theft of a firearm, and only sentenced to 17 years in prison plus 5 years probation. So at that time, you could murder your wife, be convicted of a second-degree murder, get only 17 years, and that's before your good behavior and that sort of thing. Make a long story short, he's released from that on probation, and he's got 5 more years of probation. Then he's arrested in August of 1997 for violation of probation, February 1998 for violation of probation, and in December 1998, he is booked in the state prison for violation of probation and released after 4 years. Now let's fast forward. He's not learned from his criminal evil conduct yet. August 2007, he's arrested for sexual battery with a deadly weapon, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. March 2008, he pled no contest to lewd and lascivious contact with a victim between 12 and 16 years of age. So this sexual battery was to a child, and he pled. He was given 15 years in prison with credit for 1,954 days which he'd been in the county jail. He was registered as a sex offender. Now let's fast forward. It's September 13 when he actually goes into the system. So in 2020, he's released. He spends what? 13 years of the 15 years. You spend about 85% of your sentence, but he's released. And what happens once he's released in 2020? In 2021, he's violated his probation again because he's not conforming with his sexual offender status. We arrest him again. So in September 2021, he goes back to prison for 2 more years. In 2023, he's on probation, and his probation ends on January 2024. So let me bring you up to May 15th, 2025. He is in a group home in the Dawn Heights area of Eaton Park, Florida. The reason he's in a group home is because he's a sexual offender, and it's very limited where you can leave. There's a wonderful lady that's retired from Department of Corrections who has these group homes for sexual offenders because there's limited areas where they can live. Her name is Mrs. Crump. I want to give a shout out to Mrs. Crump. She does a very good job. Now, make no mistake about it. It's not Mrs. Crump that was Andy Griffith's girlfriend, okay? It's a different Mrs. Crump. But she does a remarkable job because she provides homes for these sexual offenders and sexual predators. She cooperates with us. We know where to find them. Because she's an ex-probation officer, she keeps them in line. So she updates this particular home just shortly before Eddie burns it to the ground. And here's what happened. It's about 3:15 in the morning. And he goes to his roommate and says, "Hey, I'd like a ride into town." And his roommate said, "Hey, dude, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Go back to bed." So he rolls over and goes to sleep. During this period of time, and I'll call him victim number 5, gets up to go to the bathroom. And he sees Eddie wandering around in the house. He says that's not unusual. Since he got off of probation, he's been a total wreck here. And he wanders around at night. We know he's using drugs again, cocaine. But he sees him just wandering around. So he says, I go to the bathroom, go back to bed. And he says, I'm not even back asleep yet till I hear this sound. And this sound sounds like somebody is splashing something, and then I hear a whoosh. Well, we know now he was splashing accelerant in front of every bedroom down the hallway and tried to create a fire barrier so they could not run out of the house. He set the house on fire. He set the house on fire with 5 folks in there beside himself. Victim 1 ran through the flames and ended up being severely burned on his hands and feet. He had to be airlifted to a burn center. Victim 2 crawled out the window. Victim 3 ran through the flames. Victim 4 is on a walker. He slipped and fell. He said the floor was greasy. Something was on the floor. He slipped and fell. And the other victims ran back inside to save his life. Victim 5 once again said he saw Eddie in the house with a container just before he heard the whoosh. Then the suspect drove off. And that was one of the things that confounded his partner. He said, why was he asking me for a ride at 3 o'clock in the morning? He had a car. But anyway, he drove off. So the investigation begins. The fire marshal comes and says there's definitely an accelerant. It's an arson. He's burned the house to the ground. He's burned up other people's vehicles. He's created, once again, evil havoc. He goes to the hospital with chest pain. He stays for 2 days. They release him. Hey, you're good to go. He knows we're looking for him. Then he checks himself in to the mental health area of the hospital at Lakeland Regional Health. And he tells them that, you know, I need some help. I've got mental health issues. The dude is just mean as a snake is what's wrong. So anyway, we locate him. We read him his constitutional rights. And he looks at us kind of glibly and said, I'll take that right there. And they said, which right? The one for an attorney. He did not confess. But I point out once again that this man blocked the hallway with fire to try to keep them from getting out. By the grace of God, they all survived. Mrs. Crump then worked with us, and we had to rehome these folks because they can't just live any place, and we certainly weren't going to let them wander around because of their status, but they're still human beings, and we wanted to make sure that we gave them a place to stay while we searched for Eddie. This man's dangerous. He's 69 years of age. Our goal is that he never takes a breath of air outside of prison, but I want to underscore he tried to murder 5 people that night. After he sexually battered a child between 12 and 16, after he murdered his wife in front of the children, how much meaner and dangerous and evil can you be?